What's going on, Taurus? How are you doing? Hope we're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your reading for August 2025. So in this reading, Taurus, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy, some things you do not see coming, and also get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you regarding August 2025. So before we begin this reading, as always, I want to take a moment to let you know that you're very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading, Taurus, and I really do appreciate you in advance for taking the time to check this reading out. If this general reading happens to resonate with you, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. That would also be really greatly appreciated over here, Taurus. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull the energy and see what's coming your way for the month of August, Taurus. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the spirit guides, the interdimensional beings who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Taurus. It's definitely like a kink in your energy right now. If you were a hose, I'd be pointing out a massive kink. The water is not flowing so good, so I'm going to get you tuned up to the best of my ability here, Taurus, all right? Yeah, the energy, as I said that, you have the Nine of Wands popping out. There's a kink in your hose. All right, so if the energy, if you're stagnant in any way, that's why. There's literally a kink in your hose. A hose in your kink or kink in your hose? Are we pillaging or pill-aging? Sorry. Oh, there's, as soon as I say that, shadow. You know, I've been really exploring my visual clair senses. They've always been online, but recently they've become a whole different level. Sorry, Taurus, this is for you for August 2025, though. But yeah, like the frequency band is expanding of what I can see. It's kind of scary sometimes. The interpretation of them. Okay. Yeah. All right. I like how this energy is flowing so far for you, Taurus. So yeah, there's definitely, especially in the beginning of August, even as you're listening to this right now, potentially very close to the Lionsgate portal, there's a very big kink in your hose here, Taurus, that needs to be worked out. And it could have to do with closing yourself down as a result of past heartbreak, or even like, you know, trauma that goes way back. Your challenge this month is the Three of Swords. So I feel like a lot of you are not going to be willing to remove this kink in your hose because you're fearing some sort of intimacy. So we're going to get into that in a moment. But before we do, there's a very special gift that you don't see coming for August. So there is something to really look forward to, which we're going to move through, because you're going to be moving through that kink. That kink is going to be worked out. So before we start the tarot, let's start this reading off, Taurus, with the energy that you need more of for the month of August. And the first one you have is meditation in reverse. And in general, when this card comes out, it's telling you that you may be trying to avoid highs and lows, and you may be looking to spiritual figures, you know, people who have attained a certain level of enlightenment, as someone who is just always even keeled. But the reason that person is able to sit in a space of genuine neutrality is because they're not afraid to ride the highs and the lows. They're not afraid of their emotions. So when it comes to meditating, there's something that you can be doing. I would really switch up your meditation routine. And if you're not meditating, that could be why your energy is really blocked here, because I do get that there's, once again, that kink in the hose. The reality of the kink is not awful, but it's been there for a long time, where things are really starting to fester in a negative way. So it's time in August where this is being brought up, especially as you're listening to this. you could feel a little bit tired, or some of you don't have your energy in motion where it needs to be. So, this card is saying, switch up your meditation routine. There's something that you can do to unlock your energy. But for a lot of you, this may be deeply psychological or emotional or even physical, because the next two energies that you need more of are intimacy and sexuality is the energy that you need more of. So this is speaking about, when I'm talking about your hose, there's a kink in your hose. For some of you, this could have to do with your own creative energy being blocked because of a sexual blockage. This could be related to something that happened in the past, related to intimacy, because here's the thing about this, intimacy and sexuality, this is not like just raw physical sexuality. There's a problem within your life. I feel like this is a problem when it goes to the next level. Some of you your energy may be in a kink because you are having a certain level of surface level sexual experience. For some of you, that could be reversed, where there's a lack of being in your body, there's a lack of awareness about what really turns you on. But for most of you, it's about the deeper core, things like tantra or things like merging with someone where you really let your guard down, and they do too, especially even in a sexual context, because that's what's coming. In what you don't see coming, there's a new relationship that's really going to bring up a lot of fear in you, because it's going to be something that's so great that there's a lot of these negative belief systems, and I just get conditioning from your past that hurts. I feel like whatever this relationship is, for some of you, it could be a relationship that's clearing up, that you're in, if it's a long-term thing. But for most of you, there's a new relationship on the horizon, Taurus, that's going to have so much sexual compatibility that the universe doesn't want you to mess this up. So it's saying prepare for this change, because this love offer or this love situation is really going to pick up speed by the middle to the end of July is when this love offer really starts to come in. But there's something blocking it. For some of you, this is going to be someone that you already have somewhat of a history, unfinished business with, that comes back up. But let's go ahead and get into this reading. Your opportunity is the Two of Cups. You have sexuality and intimacy, creative energy. So this is all about partnerships. Your opportunity to capitalize on is relationships. I feel like there is a key relationship that, once again, for some of you, you don't see it coming. You don't see how. I feel really genuinely, it's either the best sex you've ever had or the best romance that you've ever had, honestly. Coming in for you, I want to make a joke that don't talk to me about romance because I'm not a Roman, but that's just a joke in terms of like the style of relationship that all of us are after now is changing. But I feel like there's a certain spark that you thought, for some reason, you're blocking, is what it's telling me. But it's also telling me that you're blocking. Some of you have had the kink in your hose of your energy, and the universe let it stay there because it was the appropriate timing for a lot of you, new person to come in, or someone you have somewhat of unfinished business with. Your challenge is the Three of Swords, and I just get that for a lot of you, there's a challenge to let your past condition you and tie you and chain you up, and really the fear of getting hurt again is coming into play. And for some of you, the person that you're connecting with could also be getting over a breakup, or they could be going through something a little bit similar. For some of you, this is about the Lionsgate portal 8-8. Now, this is about some sort of soulmate, or like, once again, because you have the intimacy and sexuality card, and then you have something about not wanting to feel the ups and downs of your emotions in life because you're afraid of conflict, or because of conflicts that have happened in the past. There's someone that's going to come in that's really going to have to make you feel again. So this is about healing the heart chakra, but it's almost like maybe because your heart chakra is blocked, it's like blocking the lower chakras. Or for some of you, this is about moving beyond surface level sexual encounters, or at least meeting someone where you can take it to the next level. For some of you, though, because for a long time, part of my spiritual awakening was like unraveling my own kundalini or sexual energy. And for a long time, there was like a couple of years where it was so intense because it was shut down my whole life. So when I finally opened it up, I was getting like universal downloads. I couldn't think straight. So for some of you, this is perhaps related to like deeper truths that naturally come up when your energy's unlocked. But I'm going to stop being the weird yoga guy from couples retreat now. Your energy is blocked. Get it open. Like, I feel like that's what I'm doing in this reading. So we're going to keep going here. Your overall general energy, I feel like you and someone new that's coming in for you have some sort of compromise that you could be both working out at this time. You have the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles when it comes to your overall general energy. So the month starts off a little bit shaky. As you're listening to this right now, Taurus, there's this feeling of that kinked hose that needs to be basically unraveled. And I feel like the way this is going to be unraveled is through relationship. This is not something that you're going to be doing on your own. The only thing that you could be doing on your own is sitting on the couch and eating ice cream and not taking any chances, basically sitting there with a closed off heart chakra. And this can happen in many forms. For some of you, with your opportunity being the Two of Cups and the Three of Swords being your challenge, there's an opportunity to realize that there could be a key relationship around you that is basically it's not making it any easier for you. I'm not saying that you need to cut this relationship off. I'm just saying in some sort of way it's not making it any easier for you because something about this person's energy could be blocking the new connection that you have coming in. That's just a side story for some of you. But I do get this feeling of romantic justice. Like I said, I'm not a Roman, so don't talk to me about romance. Just kidding. I'll take you on a date and buy you flowers. But what I'm saying is like, this is about romantic justice, but it's having to do with a compromise. And I feel like for part of you that compromise is getting real with yourself. Understanding, because it's impossible to be in a good relationship with anyone until you're first in a good relationship with yourself. But that's not going to happen by you sitting on the couch by yourself. This is where it starts to get really good. And what you don't see coming, you have the Fool, the Sun, and the Judgment card. So this is reminding you that you've had this cloud. You could look at it like you've had this cloud over you where it's limited your capacity for feeling highs and lows. You could even talk about that sexually in terms of the people that you've literally been linking up with. You could have been linking up with certain people and thinking that you're having intimate sexuality or thinking that you're having these amazing spiritual experiences, but someone is coming in, I get this in love, that is going to make every other thing that you've experienced the last years, I'm even getting, in August, a relationship coming in, everything else pales in comparison. Everything else pales in comparison, and so it starts to bring up all these feelings that when you had an open heart as a child, when you had an open heart, you may have conditioning that, oh my God, this means something's going to go wrong. This means I'm going to get hurt again. This means I'm going to get thrust into this cycle again. But it's not really the case if you can move correctly, is how I feel. It's not the case. The Judgment card is being willing to make a judgment on the fact that you need a new beginning in order to be happy as well. And what you don't see coming, there's some sort of realization that you need to unkink the hose. The good news is that the universe is sending you someone in order to do that. Okay, for some of you, this could be something that actually comes to you it's something that you're going to be kind of like sought after for some of you Tauruses out there. Now, the big question is how this fits into your long-term legacy and what you have going on for work. In your advice, you have the High Priestess, the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles in your advice from Spirit. So there's some sort of intuitive, mysterious situation going on when it comes to complete endings. I feel like this is also a question of how this new relationship is going to fit into your long-term legacy and what this means for you. Some of you could have unconsciously built an identity around struggle. Things have to be hard, and maybe you're comfortable with things being hard in romantic relationships, right? Or in love relationships and your sexual relationships. So there's some sort of burden that maybe your intuition is saying, no more. We can't keep carrying this load around. Some of you are carrying a deep load. And the reason why these wands are so heavy is because they don't really belong to this person. If anything is burdening you in life, for the most part, especially in relation to this reading, unraveling your energy, that's because you're carrying around weight that doesn't belong to you. And I know this is not what some of you want to hear, but when it comes to this meditation card in reverse, there needs to be an addressing of the pain underneath the lack of honesty or clarity that just makes you kind of like put a potato sack on your back and keep walking when you didn't even buy those potatoes. Those potatoes are rotting, my friend, and you're just still carrying it around. And so, you know, I don't know. So you're like, people won't like me because those potatoes smell bad. And they're like, why are you carrying the potatoes? And then you drop the potatoes and they're like, so that's like an analogy. Someone will help you drop the potatoes. All right. Let's clarify why your Three of Swords is your challenge. Why is the Three of Swords your challenge, Taurus, for July 2025? The Ten of Cups. So this could be a long-term influence person that's been blocking your energy. You may have been settling sexually for so long that you don't even know what you like anymore. You're not convinced that you can get it, but even though you actually, at this point, the universe is sending in this because you are a vibrational match to it. You deserve this happy new beginning. There's also a sense of curiosity and foolhardiness that this person brings out in you with the Fool card. I'm getting very happy energy. But once again, many of you are going to be, this is going to be so good that some of you, it's like you are having to work through potentially like family trauma, or once again, for a lot of you, this relationship is something, I'm not even, you think I'm joking until you experience this in August, but there's going to be like all this intuition that very quickly this could be something very long term. Why is the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Cups popping out in this reading? So it's almost like this person comes in, or this opportunity comes in and instantly like shifts you out of timelines, is what I'm getting, like very key timelines that you've been navigating. Why is the Three of Swords here for you? I'm not going to take that. I wasn't really. Why is the Three of Swords here? You could be giving up something that you've been working on for a really long time as a result of this. As I say that, the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about like slow moving work. Yeah, giving up something that feels stable, but there's nothing, it's dry. So, you know, this energy is dry sexual energy. There's no forward movement. It could be something that you've been settling for because, once again, of your pain in some sort of way. The Devil in reverse is also coming out. You also have that meditation in reverse. So let me just say this. If your sexual energy was a hose, there's a kink. Maybe some of you need to do yoga, but it's like less physical. You don't want to end up like one of those yoga teachers who has a stick up their ass. And it's just like, I'm doing yoga, but their energy is still way off. Like, this is something much deeper. For a lot of you with this, the Devil in reverse, it's about like, I think you're going to be meeting someone who's going to complement your sexuality or make you feel comfortable with things that somehow make you feel uncomfortable, especially in the term of like your long term. Because you know what I think this reading is about, Taurus, is like to get really intimate with you for a second about your life. It's like things are great when they're surface level, or like, I'm not going to marry this person because they're just this level and it's whatever. Like, something is coming out where it's really going to make you address something that you've been trying to not address for a long time. And for a lot of it's going to be this person. It's going to be this person. They could have you could have some sort of soul contract with them. The Chariot, the Three of Wands, and the Four of Wands is coming out. This is all about soul, family, divine protection, and optimism in this reading. So let's clarify what the Two of Cups is in your opportunity. Maybe this will give us a little bit more information about in August why this is all what that Ace of Wands. This is literally the card that corresponds to having an erect penis and being sexually turned on. So once again, I'm telling you that there's someone that's going to come in and reactivate a lot of this stuff for you. Once again, some of you don't think that you have sexual blocks, but sexual energy is creative energy. So there, if you're not creating what you want exactly, there's always deeper things you could do, and it's going to bring up a lot of truth and a lot of questions really quickly. The Ace of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Page of Swords. So this is, I feel like, on both fronts. It can be a relationship where someone comes in, you feel like you have each other's back. This could be something that aligns mentally and physically. You also have the Page of Swords, which is about getting more information. I feel like both of you are going to be like, well, you know, like, This is okay, well, you do have the Queen of Cups and the Five of Pentacles hopping out onto your challenge. So this could be related to the number 3 has to do with third party energy. The swords have to do with conflict. There could be also an energy that you're holding on to in terms of unconditional love that is keeping this kink basically tied together. And when I say kink, that's probably the worst analogy I could have used for this reading, because it's like punny, sexual kink in the hose. I'm talking about your kink in the hose. That's what I'm talking about. There's also, yeah. All right. Let's clarify why a situation where you're holding on to unconditional love, but it's just an excuse to keep you stuck. Or once again, that's the spiritual bypassing part of this reading with meditation in reverse. I feel like there's a part of you here, Taurus, that maybe trying to sweep things under the rug with the idea of unconditional love. There may be someone in your life that you actually, if you're really tuning into it, you could feel a lot of disappointment in yourself for holding on to this for so long, because you knew that it would create a kink in your hose in a negative sense, so to speak. And so this is, I get relational justice, romantic justice, just because it's time. You know, it is harvest season in August, right? But once again, there's something that is, it's like you're working against yourself, or for some of you, all the hard work that you've been doing, you really want to capitalize on this. But once again, there's certain energies that are going to block this. So let's clarify why, in what you don't see coming, why is the Sun card here next to the Judgment card and the Fool? This new beginning, this happy new beginning. You have the King of Swords. This person could be someone who has a King of Swords type of frequency, kind of very masculine for some of you. For a lot of you, this is about making a logical decision. If not, this could be with an air sign, doesn't have to be. It could be someone with that like is a little bit intimidating. All right, well, speaking of, well, maybe this is some sort of clarity. When it comes to this energy, the Sun is clarified by the King of Wands, the King of Swords, and the King of Pentacles all at once. So this could be a situation involving 3 different men. All right, whether this is romantic or whatever, this could be related to that 3 of Swords popping out. But for a lot of you, in a happy sense, there could be a person coming in for you that, once again, they could be very well on their way to becoming an emperor, and they have these 3 qualities down. The King of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the King of Swords. Like, you could be meeting someone who has a lot of variability, is how I feel. Some of you could be having to make a difficult choice between 3 different people. This could be friends or something, but this could also just be romance. For some of you, you're going to have a lot of options, and that's why I said this is like romantic justice. So it may be really key for you to discern well. The Judgment card is here twice. The Judgment card is right next to these 3 kings. And the Judgment card is about seeing through the BS potentially, or making a sound judgment, the ability to discern and decipher between different things. And because you have these 3 different men here, there could be, for a lot of you though, this is like an avatar. This is like someone that is embodying, you're going to have multiple areas of success, and I'm getting chills as I'm saying this. You're going to have multiple avenues of happiness open up. It'll feel like you're in 3 different universes because of this person coming in for you. And you know me, I don't sit here and come here every week and just sell you on love if I'm not feeling it. No. But the universe is giving you a plethora of options at the very least for you to unkink this hose. Because right now it is kinked, my friend. You are not seeing something clearly about why your energy is not flowing the way that it needs to be flowing. So tell me about these kings. As I say, tell me about these kings. We have the Lovers card, which is about soulmate energy, making a choice in love. So it's a very big fated moment. For a lot of you, there's really only going to be one person that's on your mind. And if that's the case, this is an avatar. This is someone who is very smart, very sexy, very sexual, and very rich. The only place that you might struggle with them is the emotional level, but you can just sit and spiritually bypass together. And then I lost some of you because I'm being a dick. But for some of you here, it's almost like you're meant to go on this journey together. For some of you, it will feel like this. It will feel like you meet this person and you just jump on a boat and enter a portal. You're like, this is crazy. I don't even know you. But apparently you do know them because you have the same kink in your hose. You have the same hose in your kink as well. Are we pillaging or pillaging, folks? I mean, that's probably the worst analogy I've ever used. But that's what we do. So why? Because once again, see how that works? It's like sometimes you have to do something counterintuitive to unkink your hose. Or to kink your hose. This is... Alright, well, jumping out on the Three of Swords, you do have the Five of Wands and the Ace of Cups. King of Cups, Chariot. Six of Pentacles in reverse. So there could be someone that you have to leave behind in order to unkink this hose or to kink your hose in the proper direction. So that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading, Taurus. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you next time.